if your next phone didn't just fold, but felt as thin and light as a regular smartphone? That's the promise behind Samsung's upcoming Galaxy Z Fold 7, and if the recent leaks are anything to go by, it looks like Samsung might actually be delivering on that promise. With only a few weeks left until Samsung's big Unpacked event, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has already started making headlines, not just for folding, but for being the slimmest, lightest, and possibly the most user-friendly foldable phone Samsung has ever made. Let's talk about what's new, what's different, and why this foldable might finally be ready for everyone. New leaked renders posted by Android Headlines show a completely reworked Galaxy Z Fold 7 with a super slim body and noticeably wider displays. The renders reveal two color options, jet black and blue shadow, with the blue variant likely being Samsung's signature color this year, something we're seeing across other devices like the upcoming Galaxy Watch Ultra. But color aside, the real star of the show is the redesigned frame and the weight drop. According to multiple sources, the Z Fold 7 might come in at just 4.5 millimeters thick when unfolded. For comparison, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 was already considered slim at 5.6 millimeters, so this is a major change. In fact, Samsung itself has been hinting at this thinner form factor in its own teasers, clearly building hype around the new, more pocketable design. Alongside the slimmer frame, the display sizes are also seeing a bump. The outer screen, the one you use when the phone is folded, is expected to be around 6.5 inches, up from 6.3 inches on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. That makes it easier to use with one hand, more practical for messaging, and generally more comfortable. For everyday use, the internal foldable screen is also reportedly getting bigger, going from 7.6 inches to 8.2 inches. That extra screen space means better multitasking, easier media viewing, and a more immersive experience when the phone is fully opened. But slimming down a foldable device isn't easy. These phones need to pack into displays, a hinge mechanism, multiple cameras, a decent battery, and high-end processors, all without becoming too bulky or heavy. And that's where the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is really trying to change the game. The design tweaks seen in these renders, thinner bezels, a flatter hinge, and refined build, all point to Samsung pushing hard to make foldables feel less like a tech experiment and more like a polished everyday device. Another area where we expect improvements is weight. While the exact number hasn't been leaked yet, all signs point to the Galaxy Z Fold 7 being lighter than the previous model. Have you ever used your phone and thought, why can't switching between settings and notifications be easier? Well, Huawei seems to have listened. The latest software update for the Huawei Nova 14 Pro and Nova 14 Ultra models brings a smart little feature that could actually make everyday phone use feel smoother without needing any major learning curve. It's all about a new swipe gesture for the control center, and even though Huawei didn't list this clearly in the changelog, users who've already received the update have started talking about it online, and it sounds like a feature many of us will appreciate. Now let's break it down. If you're someone who often pulls down the notification bar or toggles settings like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, brightness, or volume, you know how important the control center is. It's the brain of your phone's quick settings. But until now, if you wanted to access both your notifications and quick controls, you have to swipe down from different sides of the screen. That might sound minor, but when you're in a rush or holding your phone with one hand, it can feel clunky. The new update changes that dot with the latest HarmonyOS 5.0.1.13 version. Huawei has introduced a left-right swipe gesture, the top of the control center. What does that mean? You can now swipe left or right at the top to switch easily between the notification panel and the control center without swiping down multiple times or aiming at a particular side of the screen. It's a small tweak, but it makes the phone feel more natural and modern to use. It's one of those things you don't realize you need until you have it, but that's not all this update brings. The Nova 14 Pro and Nova 14 Ultra are also getting several improvements under the hood. Let's talk about the camera first. Huawei has fine-tuned how the camera processes images in certain situations. Users should now see better photo quality in tricky conditions like indoors or scenes, with mixed lighting. So whether you're snapping photos at a family dinner or taking a quick shot during a night walk, the images should look cleaner and more balanced. The update also enhances the phone's sound quality. Audio playback now feels richer and more detailed. If you're someone who streams music or watches videos through the phone's speakers, you'll notice that voices sound clearer and bass feels deeper. Even system sounds like notifications and ringtones have been adjusted for a more pleasant experience. The weather app and smart assistant have also been polished. These may seem like small parts of the system, but they play a big role in daily use. The weather app now delivers more accurate updates with a cleaner interface, while the smart assistant reacts more quickly and gives more helpful answers. Another part of the update improves face recognition. What if your next flip phone could send a message through space even when there's no signal? That might sound like science fiction, but it could be a real feature in Samsung's upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 7, thanks to a new chip called the Exynos 2500. With the launch expected in July 2025, this phone might do more than just flip open. It could help you connect in places where normal phones stop working. So what's so special about this new Exynos chip? Well, Samsung has built it using 3nm technology, which means it's smaller, faster, and uses less power than the older Exynos 2400 that was in the Galaxy S24 series. But one of the coolest things is the modem inside it, the Exynos 5400 5G modem. According to Skylo Technologies, a satellite service company, this modem will support NB-IoT-NTN, which is short for Narrowband Internet of Things Non-Terrestrial Network. In simple words, it can talk to low Earth orbit satellites. That means, in emergency situations like getting lost in the mountains or stuck in an area with no mobile towers, you might still be able to send a message using satellite signals. Skylo already works with other big tech names like LG, Oppo, Tecno, and now Samsung too. They even partner with Harman Automotive to bring satellite features to cars, so they're not new to this game. But just because the chip can do it doesn't mean the feature will be active right away. Samsung could choose to turn it on or off depending on the market, business deals, or local rules. Now, let's talk about speed. A leaked test shows that a Galaxy Z Flip 7 powered by Exynos 2500 scored 2,012 points in Geekbench's single-core test and 7,563 points in the multi-core test. To compare, last year's Galaxy Z Flip 6 using the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 scored 2,251 and 7,131 in the same tests. That puts Exynos slightly behind in single-core, but ahead in multi-core, which shows it's powerful, especially since these are early numbers and final scores usually improve after software tweaks. There's also a lot of talk about which chip will actually power the Flip 7 when it hits shelves. Some reports say Samsung will use the Exynos 2500 in some regions and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 or 8 Elite in others. In fact, the bigger Galaxy Z Fold 7 is rumored to get the Snapdragon chip globally. If true, this would mark the return of Exynos chips in Samsung's top-tier phones after a break.